Boys Season 5 may have just undercut one of its most important rising characters with a single line of dialogue. After years of build up across Gen 5 and repeated teases throughout the final season of The Boys, Marie Moreau finally makes her long awaited appearance only for the show to immediately downplay everything that made her important in the first place. For two seasons of Gen 5, Marie was positioned as potentially one of the dangerous soups in the franchise. Her blood manipulation abilities evolved far beyond simple attacks, with the series constantly hinting that she could eventually rival Homelander himself. Gen 5 Season 2 especially leaned heavily into that idea, with Thomas Goldhawken repeatedly describing Marie as possibly the strongest soup alive. That's why her debut in The Boys Season 5 Episode 7 feels so strange. The moment Marie appears, she's shut down by the hype herself by saying reports of my greatness have been greatly exaggerated. The line instantly reframes her from a potentially game changing figure into someone unsure of her own importance. The scene only doubles down from there. Starlight questions Murray's control over her powers, but both Murray and Jordan are effectively pushed aside, while the story pivots back to Homelander, Butcher, and looming Soup Virus. In one conversation, the show seems to remove Murray and Gen 5 characters from the board entirely. What makes the decision frustrating is how carefully Gen 5 built Murray's arc. Her story wasn't just about learning to control power, it was about realizing she could become something bigger than the system that created her. By the end of Gen 5 Season 2, the narrative strongly implied that she might be one of the only people capable of stopping Homelander if things ever reach that point. Now, the boy suddenly appears to be walking all of that back. Part of the issue may be simply coming down to timing. The Boys is ending, and Gen 5 was reportedly cancelled earlier this year, leaving Murray in a difficult narrative position. For viewers who only watch The Boys, suddenly introducing a major new player to defeat Homelander in the final episodes might feel disconnected from the main story. The series have spent 5 seasons building its central conflict around Butcher, Homelander, Yogi, and Starlight, so handling the climax to a spin off protagonist could easily overshadow the original cast. But that particular storytelling choice creates another problem. It makes Murray's entire build up feel pointless. Gen 5 invested enormous time turning her into a legitimate threat in this universe. Her powers were treated as uniquely dangerous because they directly affect the human body internally, something even Homelander could theoretically be vulnerable to. The series repeatedly emphasized that Murray wasn't just another young soup learning heroics, she was potentially the future of the entire franchise. Episode 7 suddenly makes her feel irrelevant instead. There's still a chance the show is setting up a surprise twist. Mary could return in the finale and prove everyone wrong, especially if Homelander's new immortality boost leaves the other characters with no realistic way to stop him. Her self doubt could even be intentional misdirection before a major heroic moment. But right now, the optics are rough with Gen 5 no longer continuing and the boys approaching its end. Murray risks becoming a character whose story spent years building towards greatness only to stop right before payoff. And that's what makes the end line sting so much. Reports of my greatness have been extremely exaggerated, doesn't sound like Murray doubting herself. It feels like the show itself suddenly questioning whether her story mattered at all. Thank you for watching. Bye.